Hi guys, welcome back to Forgetful Scholar, and this week we're going to chat about books, one book, and this week we have a special guest, someone who's been mentioned on this channel, like the boogeyman from the Black Lagoon, my big sister, Sophia. Yay!
Hello, Internet.
So, we buddy read the one book that we're talking about. It is science fiction. It is, let's see, Just One Damn Thing After Another, The Chronicles of St. Mary's, Book 1 by Jodi Taylor. It's pages of 322 and published 2016. So, what is your, star rating?
I would have to say I would put this as a 1 star.
Oh, thank God. Because I was like, we buddy read it, and I was like, ooh, is it possible to give negative stars?
No.
0 stars? 1 star. I think 1 star is being nice, if I'm being honest. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of what did you like about it? What did you like about it?
Okay. See, this is a book about, crazy historians who do time traveling and visit different parts of history to honestly look and observe and to record lost history.
Yeah,
and
so it's like Indiana Jones meets Time Cop or Doctor Who. Sounds interesting, doesn't it?
It does.
Almost like you couldn't f it up, right? Right?
You would think. But lo and behold, sadly,
the author found a way to make this boring as... Okay.
Yeah, and it centers on the main protagonist, Madeline Maxwell.
Oh, I forgot her first name was Madeline because they just always call her Max or Maxwell.
Yeah, okay, we'll get into that, but a quick synopsis is Madeline Maxwell, genius historian, gets recruited by St. Mary's, filled with other genius, quirky historians, and they do their time traveling thing.
Yeah.
Capitalism inserts itself and villains appear.
Yeah. What did you... Okay, I think you have more that you liked about it than me. So what did you honestly like?
I did like some of the humor. It did make me laugh at certain points. It's told from the first person perspective of Madeline.
Yes.
It's Dr. Maxwell.
It's all her POV. Yeah.
So she is very snarky and has that dry British wit and things like that. And she is, Dr. Madeline Maxwell is very snarky and funny. She's got that dry British wit.
Yes.
So she did make me laugh a couple of times, but after a while, she has undisclosed trauma.
We will get into this. Actually, thank you for bringing that up. I will say, if you're going to read this book, trigger warning for attempted SA and miscarriage. Yeah. Okay, and we've talked about that before, some books, it makes sense why the character would go through those things, At some time, most of the time, there's no reason. It doesn't help the plot, doesn't help the character, nothing, right? And I feel like this is one of those times, but we'll get into that. Thank you for reminding me. Trigger warning. You know what I mean? Okay. So she has undisclosed trauma,
and kind of makes her put people at arm's length. But after a while, it got really tedious, and her constant snarkiness got annoying. And kind of kept the reader from experiencing the emotions with her. Yeah. Because she refused to kind of feel them. Yeah.
So, sometimes the humor got me. Because the humor's subjective, right? Humor's subjective. So sometimes the humor got me. After page 200, some of the friendships she had with the other people... that made sense. They've been through a lot together. That, I was like, okay, that's good. It makes sense why this one guy from another team will follow her this way because they went through, the wars together, basically, right? So some of that, I'm like, okay. But that's, all the good things I had to say about it. I'm sorry. I found it so boring, and I'm so, because it was my pick too. I forced her to read this.
Well, and I suggested it. I suggested it because it sounded like fun.
It sounded like fun. Yeah. But remember, I found it the 3rd book in the series in my local library, and I mentioned to you, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds fun." And then you're like, "Hey, let's buddy read it." So I feel guilty.
No need.
So the beginning, right? And I don't know, because of the miscarriage she goes through, you think that she put up wall, but I think she had the wall from the beginning.
She always had the wall.
Yeah, and she had the wall from the beginning. 'Cause she's like a foster kid in the beginning. Like
I don't think she was a foster kid. She had a family.
No. She was, because like in the first couple pages,
she said like the family's the devil's instrument. She had one, and then like she doesn't speak to them. She never tells us why.
Oh, because I'm confused. Because in the first couple pages, it sounds like it's like she mentions like one foster care after another.
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I thought
she had a family. She just, for reasons that we will never know, don't know in the first book. Well, she doesn't talk to them. She doesn't speak to them. She's totally cut off from them. She doesn't even mention them other than say a family's the devil's invention.
That makes it worse.
Yeah. We don't know why she's like that, and
that makes it worse because I thought I must have misunderstood. But in the beginning, it sounded like she was just in the system, and that's why she kept people away. But if she had a family, and we don't understand even a hint at why that makes it worse. But like, I will say there's we're on the stuff we didn't like now. Like there's 50 like the first 50
I already
pages.
said what I liked, so we're kind of done with the
that's
portion.
Done. That was it. That was
occasional funniness, but then now we're into the thing.
Yeah, now we're into the weeds because like the first 50 pages was basically a training montage, and you guys know I love a good training montage. If it's done right, I can hear like 80s music soundtrack in my head when I'm reading it. This was the most boring. Like it was so boring, and like I think we were supposed to care about her teammates.
I don't even remember their names. I don't. No. There's even like in the beginning of the book, there's even a list of people's names and what department they are on. In one ear, out the other. I couldn't remember them because I couldn't pick them out of the lineup.
In my notes, it literally is just Maxwell. Like I didn't even write the love interest. But like, so
we get to him
in the beginning. They have this training montage. There's like 10 of them or something, and it gets wheedled down to like 3 at the end of it. And like one of them dies, and like we were supposed to care about him.
Yeah, can I say something? There is character death here. Another trigger warning, I suppose. But the thing is, when you do character death, you're supposed to feel it. You're supposed to mourn. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, okay. Who's this guy? Who's Davy? Who the is Davy?
Well, no, Davy. No, there was a character death before Davy. Grant. Grant died.
Yeah, Grant and Davy. But let me tell you, remember.
The action until page 200 was off the page. You know, and I felt like we were getting told more than being shown. And like realistically, books, it's like 80% shown, 20% told, right? If it's really good, it's like 90-10, right? Because like you have to tell a little bit in books. That's just the way it is. This was like flipped. This was like 90% tell, 10% show. And I was like, oh my.
Yeah, that's kind of the restriction of the first person point of view.
Yeah, but so, I don't know, because I read a lot of good first person point of views where it wasn't a lot of tell, you know?
It's just like, why?
She wasn't in
why couldn't she be in that mission where the first person died?
And to be honest, like, I think maybe the training montage was supposed to build her up not to be a Mary Sue, but she very much was a Mary Sue.
And we never saw why. Like, yes, she was very intelligent, but so was everyone else on the team.
They were all picked genius historians.
Yeah, cream of the crop, all of them.
And so the first guy she trains with, Grant, dies off the page. We don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. Like, I didn't care about Grant, and we're in her POV, and this is supposed to be her friend, and she doesn't care about, like, I felt like there was only 3 points in the book that she showed emotion, and we're in her head, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
And also, the one time she showed emotion, I'm like, this person's not worth your feelings right now.
Yeah.
He's not worth all this. Can we say exactly what it is? I feel like we kind of have to.
Well, yeah. So there's going to be a bunch of spoilers if you're interested.
Don't be.
Well, and when they're doing this, there's someone who is a mole, you know? And like the thing that drove me nuts, because her partner, guess what his last name was? Sussman. I
didn't even hit that up, but you're right.
I was like, what? I was like, if the partner is the double agent, I'm gonna be so pissed. Cause Sussman, you know what I mean? And like, guess what? Yeah, he was. Like,
Sussman was sus.
Sussman was sus. Like, page 200, they go to the Cretaceous period, right? And it's her and her partner, and this is the farthest they've ever gone. Cool.
Yeah, interesting dinosaur things. Like, that interesting dinosaur things, we barely even get to see it.
No.
Sussman does something really horrible.
He like, attempts to SA her. And I will say, because I'm bloodthirsty, I like that she beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And then, like, she gets injured, and no part of her thinks that Sussman did it, even though he was behind her. Like, there's a lot of this where, like, I thought you're supposed to be geniuses.
Yeah. There's a point where, like, she, after the attempt to SA happens and she has a confrontation with him, something happens, right? And she falls off a ravine, and no part of her thinks that, oh, the guy who tried to SA me that's behind me may have had something to do with that.
Yeah, and then, like, she gets back to the institute, and they have videotape, and turns out Sussman was killed. And the thing is, I
was happy with that part.
I was happy with that part.
Raptors, baby, gotta love them sometimes.
Yeah. I was happy that he died horribly, you know. But the thing is, and there's videotape of inside the pod. So, like, he was escalating, because they were sleeping in the same pod, right? So he was escalating when she was unconscious, different nights, right? And she's seeing this, and, like, we're in her POV, and it's not like the author was like, oh, I couldn't handle it, so I shut down or something. It was just like, and then she was angry for a second, and then she's like, I have to avenge him. And I was
she
like,
mourns him. She legit mourns him.
No.
And that's where the pacing really comes to a grinding halt afterwards.
To be honest, I thought the pacing started at a grinding halt personally.
But I guess, like, for me, this is where I read this one.
And there was no consequences in the fact that, like, the next chapter, she has intercourse with her love interest on top of a car. There's no, like, flinching. There's no, like, some cautious. There's not even, I would have accepted in her POV, like, oh, no, Chief, because her boyfriend's, like, her boss, and everyone calls him Chief. I didn't even know what his name was.
Until the end. They mentioned his name twice throughout the whole book, and I forgot it.
And, like, there's no point internally where she's like, no, I can trust him. It's fine.
Yeah, it's safe here.
I felt like that would have added, because the romance was bullshit. Romance, -5 stars. It was bullshit. There was no build up. There was no tension. There was nothing
like attraction on her part.
No.
And then mostly she's like, she accidentally bumps into him in the hallway. She goes like, oh, he's warm, and that was it. I don't even know what he looks like.
Yeah, he's not even described. Apparently, and I really hate this. Like, I get it happens sometimes in real life, but, like, there was another female that really loved Chief and, like, was all evil towards her.
Oh yeah, the big traitor is a thwarted pick-me girl, which I think of this book is a masterclass in subconscious internalized misogyny. Because it's clear the author had no idea how misogynistic she was being.
Yes.
But lo and behold, really, because, like, the big traitor is a thwarted pick-me girl.
And, like, the thing is, like, I see this a lot in female authors, and, like, it makes me sad. Come on, guys. Therapy is a thing.
Yeah, we all have our blind spots, but this is a full book filled with blind spots. Sorry.
And it's, like, a huge trilogy, too. Like,
there's more than one. It's a series.
Like, 6 books or something? 6, 7? So, like, ugh. And, the big spoiler, the big bad is Ronan, who apparently because there's Chief, okay, there's Maxwell, Chief, and then Boss, and Boss is the big boss man, you know. Oh, I know, the names are so clever. Anyway, apparently the whole super villain guy became a villain because he was in a love triangle and the woman didn't pick him. And I was like, so an incel. Like, what do you mean? Like,
an incel, and then within St. Mary's there was another traitor, and she was a thwarted pick-me girl.
Yeah. So
she was a bee throughout the whole book.
She was. And, like, at the beginning, it didn't make sense that she was being bitchy, and I thought maybe academic jealousy, because that happens a lot in the academic sphere, you know, but... And I think I would have actually enjoyed it a little bit more if it was the academic.
Yeah, jealousy of the mind, of the accomplishments.
Yes, not some guy, like, literally, Chief was like a door, like a wall. He had no personality. Like, after he finds out about the miscarriage, you see him being drunk and crying. I was like, oh, he has emotion. Oh, okay.
He was also horribly cruel to her. Do you remember what the things he said to her after?
No, he was, no, it's, no. Like, not even, he crossed the line that even dark romances don't cross. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even in dark romances, the guy might be like a horrible evil man, but never to the girl. Yeah. So like, and then like, oh no, it's okay. And then I was like, I hate this. Like, literally, if we weren't budding reading it, I would have ended, I marked down page 57. Wow. I would have TNF'd it.
See, I didn't mind the beginning part so much.
I found it boring. Because, like, think about it. If it started off in the Cretaceous period, like, it's a cold open Cretaceous period. We see two modern humans there. We don't know why they're there. And then slowly it gets unraveled about St. Mary's and all that stuff. I think that would have been, I would have been more interested. Because it felt like St. Mary's, like, what it is and how it's explained, is just paragraph after paragraph of, like, the boss explaining it.
And there's one point where they have to discuss funding for their time traveling. Is this a British thing? Is this like, we have to explain the bureaucracy? Like, no, you really don't.
I didn't get that because because usually there's a whole department. Usually the boss handles that, right? That's usually their job. Like the basic sales associates, if we're doing like a retail thing.
Yeah, geez.
They don't have to deal with that. And besides, like, they have to go in history, and a lot of them die, right? Because it's a dangerous job. And when I'm reading this, I remember like page 100, I was like, because the groups are really separate. So the historians go into the past, the techs obviously
keep the machines going,
and the security is for like the building, and I get that. But like, I was like, that's so weird that it's just a 2-man team of historians, because like I would think they're going to the Boxer Rebellion, they're going to all these dangerous points. They went to before the Library of Alexandria was sacked, you know, all these important points. I'd be like, hey, if I was a historian, I would want a security guy with me and a tech guy in case something goes wrong with the pod on scene. Like, I didn't get why they were so separate. And in St. Mary's, there was very much us versus them for all 3 of those groups.
Which is hardly a team building.
I was like, this is like a really deadly job. Get your shit together.
It also kind of reeked of almost like the houses against each other, but like you're adults. You're all adults.
It was very high school. It was very high school. And these people are all doctorates. So like, they've been in college for like 7 years of college. They're adults. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I thought you guys were supposed to be smart moment was like after the Cretaceous period, after the attempted essay caught on video, after like the big bad Ronin was revealed again on video, the Cretaceous, they spend all these pages discussing how to monetize their footage and disguise it so that way they could get money. Yeah, but guys, you saw a murderer kill one of your own on camera.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be doing things to protect your people?
And it was just stupid. And at that point,
like pages and pages of it.
And at that point, like, I was like, okay, things are getting good.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
And then like, you can tell we're sisters there.
Yeah.
It like grinding halt, you know. And I was like, oh, this is boring. And like it was a struggle not to skim those pages. It was a struggle. Like, you guys know, like, a week I do like 2 books, right? Average. This I've been trying to read for 3 weeks on its own, and I'm like, oh, I have to put down, oh god, I have to put it back up, oh god, you know, like, it was such a struggle to get through it because it was so freaking boring. Yeah. And then like the end of it, right, I did not give 2 shits. I was like, oh, okay, the big confrontation, at least in the confrontation, Chief showed himself to actually be smart and actually someone that can plan ahead, and he set up a trap, right? And she's pissed because she didn't know about the trap, and I'm like, girl, that's not how traps work. You know. And also, like, yeah, I get it, you guys are together, don't know why. Well, I do know why. She didn't have a personality either. You guys are together, but like, he's still your boss, and there's still stuff you're not supposed to know. But they treated her like Chief and the boss kind of treated her like as an equal.
Yeah, like, and she's the golden child.
They kept hinting of her bigger future, and I was like, shut the fuck up.
And it's just like, and like with the whole like, let's make a fake documentary about the Cretaceous and sell it.
Yeah,
they dedicated it to the attempted rape.
That was ridiculous.
That was such an insult to the readers.
She insisted on that. Like, are you fucking kidding? Go get better health. Go.
Yeah,
Jodi Taylor, better health. Go.
Yeah,
like better health. There you go. Better help. Go. Like you need a therapist. Like that is not cool. Like, are you kidding me? And like, oh my god, it was so boring and
so insulting. That was so insulting.
I just felt like her character. I read the whole thing. All I know from her is that she's sarcastic. Like there was no internal emotions, and because we weren't shown even her own thought process, she came off as like an idiot because it felt like she didn't think of anything before she just did it. And I'm like, we're supposed to believe she's intelligent, and then this is science fiction, and then they put in stupid fucking random supernatural things in it, like the secretary that was like the grumpy secretary. All of a sudden she's the muse of history.
I'm like, what did this come from? It came
nowhere.
From nowhere.
How dare you?
Like there wasn't. I tried to look back for like seeds. Like maybe something I missed. No. Nothing.
There's only one point when she is interviewing for the job. I think boss is like, history, and he talks about history as if it's like a deity, and I was like, that I thought was so stupid. I laughed out loud, but I don't think I was supposed to, because like to me if is a course in school, you know what I mean? It is a very biased retelling of past events. And I think like if he said time itself won't let you change things and will fix holes, I would have believed that too, because time
travel rules, you know?
Yeah, and time seems more, you know, unknowable, and like in the zeitgeist with like Doctor Who and Star Trek. Like, like that would have made more sense to me. But they're like acting like history is like a deity, and I was like, it's a course in high school. Like, what do you mean?
But turns out she is, and she's there fixing your teeth.
She's just the muse, the daughter of Zeus, and I was like, shut the fuck up.
And also, takes place in England. Is there no Celtic version, or is it more native to like their deity of their pantheon?
Of course, but apparently, like the writer's a big fan of history, and I was like, yeah, obviously, look what she wrote. And her historical events were like really well researched and stuff like that. But like it always seems like people who really love history default to the Roman stuff.
I think maybe that's just like a bias that's been fed in us because we kind of can't help it. That's what we were like taught in school, things like that.
But but the point is, like, at the end, the third act conflict, all of a sudden this Deus Ex Machina secretary
who doesn't do anything, by the way,
is just the muse who just like comes to her in a vision and like, here, under this rock.
It's like it's under the third step. Like, what the fuck's under the third step?
An anomaly.
We don't even know what the anomaly was. Like, it was like a scroll or something that.
It was a Shakespeare scroll that apparently, like a lost play of his that apparently is from a different timeline entirely. Because it was the wrong queen that was executed. And I was like, I don't give two shits.
Yeah, I don't care.
I have no two shits to give.
And it's bad because like the more than one character dies, for you to spend so much time with these people, and for the character deaths and character betrayal to not affect you,
it didn't give a shit.
Oh, and this is a random little tidbit. Can we talk about how stupid her nickname was? For like her boyfriend Chief gives her a nickname. Her name is Madeline Maxwell, and he calls her Lucy.
Because like the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds thing, which I thought was stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid, right? Roberta, that's your new nickname now, Roberta. It's just like, and then that caused even more confusion with the names because I kept confusing Chief and Boss. I kept confusing them. I thought they were the same person.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, isn't Boss married or something like that?
The only thing was Boss had a limp. That was like the only. They didn't even describe what she looked like.
Yeah.
They didn't describe what anybody looked like, and the only thing was like Boss had a limp, and I was like, if you have so many characters, you need for them to be personalities that stand out. And I've read books where the secondary characters, you know exactly, right? Even books I haven't liked, but the secondary characters, you know, like, oh yeah. So it was just like, because like all of the men sounded the same, all of the women sounded the same, and it was very
same
like
humor, same personalities,
same like they didn't even describe if someone had like a different accent, because England has like a beautiful array of different accents. You know what I mean?
Accents.
So like I was like, oh, so they all sound like posh? Like, what's happening? Like, what do you?
And I listened to the audiobook too, and like the narrator did didn't do enough to distinguish the voices.
Well, to be fair, they probably, did the best they could.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think
they
get
the best they could, but still.
I don't think they get a lot of leeway, right? Like, it's just reading a script.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it's just like, Boss sounded exactly like Chief, and that's why I was so confused about who she was hooking up with.
Boss had a limp, and he was the only one that was described physically. He had a limp, except one of the security guys was described constantly like a brick wall. Mansfield, I think his name was. Like, she thought he died at the end, but he didn't. Like, this one security guy that she only really interacts at, like, the third act, she constantly describes him as, like, a brick wall. And I was like, are you going to climb that big brick wall?
Yes.
Are you going to make this more interesting? Like, why? Yeah. Why is this the only one? But, like, it was... And then, like, yeah, so the romance, 0, -5, -100.
Really terrible. It's like... They said they knew each other for 4 years before they confessed, but I didn't get a sense.
It did not feel like 4 years.
Yeah, of their relationship at all. Nothing.
It felt like 4 years reading it. It felt like it'd take 4 years to read the damn thing, but I thought it was just a couple months until they said that. I was like, what?
Yeah, and just even we find out the Chief's the interest backstory, and his backstory is also filled with misogyny.
His backstory is filled with misogyny, and I was like,
typical tragic backstory. Should I say?
When I was reading it, I was like, oh, backstory. Maybe we get a little maybe we figure out what he's about. Why is he here? He basically is from the future. I was like, ooh, interesting. No, not interesting. No. He's not even his mom was British, but he grew up in future France, and he's not described of having a French accent at all.
Yeah,
he was in the military. And he was married to this woman, and she left, and his 2 kids died. And, they made a point in the book to say, the 2 kids weren't even his. As if that matters.
Yeah,
He, raised those kids as his. And when he's telling this backstory, I mean, he wasn't even tearing up about his 2 young children's
who died horribly, and also just the fact they weren't even mine, and they were by different fathers. That was clearly meant to show us how horrible his wife was. Yeah. And we don't meet this woman. Nope. She doesn't have a name. Is there really any reason to vilify her so terribly?
No, she could have easily have died in the flu,
the plague that killed them.
The plague. I think it was a really mutated flu or something.
Yeah, some sort of new strand of flu that was
she could have easily have died in that, but it was such a weird I hate women moment.
Yeah, it really was. It was completely unnecessary.
And it was just creeped me out because he was they weren't even biologically mine. I was like, if that matters, you raised them. And you still love them.
Yeah, you should, and if you don't, there's something that makes you seem really bad.
Yeah. So that was weird to put in. Yeah. So love interest from the future. Interesting. No, boring. Historians that go to the past to save history. Interesting. Boring. That just seems like the premise on page. Ooh, but the execution. Bleh.
Again, it's just and they're all eccentric, but they're all eccentric in the same exact way.
Yes, you couldn't even pick them out individually for their eccentricities, and then the Chief too was from the future. Apparently, he stole the first pod from the future and came back. Yeah, so I'm
the big boss.
Sorry. See, I got confused. The boss, and so I'm oh, so he didn't invent this. Then when does this get invented? Because I've watched enough Doctor Who to know this does not get invented.
It's who wrote Beethoven's Fifth or something like that.
If this does not get invented at some point, the world will explode.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems like the worst thing to do every time I see a time travel movie. That's the thing that a bad guy, even Bill and Ted's Most Excellent Adventure, they wouldn't have done that. So Rufus told them they can't take anything back from the future, so they took things back from the past.
Yeah, there we go.
That was, so it was just, and then they're let's go to Alexandria and save the scrolls. And
I was cheering for them actually, oh neat.
Yeah.
And that's when the big confrontation with the evil Ronin happens, and the pick-me girl who... Oh, it was just bad.
Still alive, by the way. I really wanted her to...
After they found out that she did something really terrible, after they found that out, I'm I hope she's in jail. No, they just apparently let her go. I'm guys, after the attempt...
Well, apparently, Chief and Boss, they decided to, let her go, hoping they would, she would lead them to... the bad guy.
I missed that. I missed that.
But, and then Max gets all pissed off. She's well, obviously it didn't work. And I was yes, you have a right to be pissed off in this second, Max, because like it changes the next paragraph. By the way, her emotions. I was like, is she bipolar? Like her emotions, like they would spark and then they would fizzle out, and then there's no consequences. And that really bothers me.
No emotional consequences for her. No thinking or reevaluating or
no mourning. No trauma.
Unless she's mourning her attempted SA error, because then she was all sad about it.
That was.
Oh. And it turns out he not only did he attack her once in the previous mission, it was found out that he tried to kill them that mission too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like twice attempted murderer, one time attempted SA'er, and she's mourning. He
escalated. So he did technically SA her when she was asleep. He just escalated when she woke up that one night, because the nights before that he was like slowly taking off her clothes, but he wasn't like. He didn't do the full thing yet. When when he tried to, that's when she woke up and beat the shit out of him. The only part I liked her in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like she was like locked in her pod, locked him in his, and I was like, okay, there's some trauma, there's some emotion, gone. When she miscarriages, there's some trauma, there's emotion, gone. It just felt like the next page.
She's all better.
All better. No help needed.
No change in the way she interacts with other people.
None.
And it was just.
I just hated the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like it sucked me into a reading slump. So.
Oh no!
I mean, I'll tell you, that's what happens when I'm a mood reader. I read something that sucks. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to read a lot of fan fiction to get back up.
Oh. Well, maybe we should say what books we should recommend instead of this.
I don't really know, because like this was my first foray into reading science fiction. So I'll let...
Oh no, not your first.
Yeah, so I'll let you take that.
Well, just like books that are just generally enjoyable. Like if you want to see English eccentrics done well with different types of quirks with respect to their regional accents and history, Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. It's a contemporary gay romance, but it is funny, and the main character works at this Save the Dung Beetles organization, and he's filled with really wacky scientists who are wacky in distinctive ways. Like I never once was like, who's this guy? No, I know all their names, I know their quirks, and I'm happy to see them again.
Oh.
Because they're fun and entertaining, and it's told from a first person point of view, and the boy is a wreck. Normally I don't like fake dating at all, but in this case it made me like fake dating, and I hate fake dating.
Yeah, you do.
I do, because it's like, who would have thought? I knew from the beginning, but then this one changed my mind. So I would recommend that, and I would always recommend Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo to anyone with eyes to read, or anyone.
I love, like, anything Jordan L. Hawk writes, you know. I really love the Pirate Cove series that you guys know. Both gay romances, but the Pirate Cove has unique, secondary characters that are quirky, unique, and fun. You know, not, you know, if you want stuff that's emotional, maybe romance, I like Lisa Kleypes's Hathaway series is really sweet. You know, I mean, it's just...
For the more speculative size, N.K. Jemisin, The World We Made, or The City That We Became, excellent duology, and her Broken Earth series, astonishing. So that's more on the speculative science fiction fantasy side. Okay. She's the new Ursula K. Le Guin. She really is.
Okay. So that's, you know, I want to look for sci-fi that I might like in the future, so I'll keep you guys posted. But I think, yeah, it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!